Hey gang, Uncle Todd and Sonny here. And for our next weird shark film, we have a precursor to the infamous Sharktopus that Roger Corman made for the Sci-Fi Channel. Yep, well before anybody else had come up with the concept of a shark and an octopus fused together, we had Lamberto Bava's devilfish, which is not as predominant, intentionally goofy as Sharktopus, but it's not exactly one of Bava's best. Now, Bava's best known for his, besides being the son of the great Mario Bava, who basically started the entire giallo genre in Italy with depends on who you ask. It's either The Girl Who Knew Too Much or Blood and Black Lace. Although Blood and Black Lace did have all the real big hallmarks of what we come to view as the giallo, with the masked killer wearing black leather gloves and a hat, and really, really vicious murder set pieces. But Bava, Lamberto, well respected director of thrillers in his own right. He made Macabre, A Blade in the Dark, one of his best giallos, Demons, as well as Demons 2, You'll Die at Midnight, Delirium, and Body Puzzle. And he also did some uncredited work on some of his father's later films. Of the cast, the only big name to me is Dagmar Lassander, who was very well known in the giallo genre. As she had been in Mario Bava's Hatchet for a Honeymoon. She had been in the Forbidden Photos of a Lady Above Suspicion, The Iguana with the Tongue of Fire, So Young, So Lovely, So Vicious, Reflections in Black, Legend of the Wolf Woman, which is sort of a combo supernatural giallo thing about a woman who thinks she's reincarnated from an ancestor who was a werewolf. The Black Cat, Lucio Fulci's take on Edgar Allan Poe, and House by the Cemetery, another Lucio Fulci flick. Only that's part of his Armageddon trilogy, along with City of the Walking Dead and The Beyond. Now, Sharktopus, Devilfish, opens with a boat being attacked by something mysterious. And then the Coast Guard finds the remains and pull up the only body left. Well, after that bit of grisly business, fun fact, all the actors playing victims are actually amputees. So that's not a special effect that man's legs are off at the knees. Anyways, moving on, we are introduced to two of our main characters. Dr. Dickens, who is a expert on dolphins, and her partner, Dr. Hogan, who's out getting readings on his boat when he picks up this strange noise. Whatever that is, sounds like it has asthma.
Very funny.
Bad joke, I admit. Anyway, while that is happening, something's going on with Stella's dolphins.
Donald! Minnie! What's wrong? Donald!
I'm thinking there's a connection. Well, when Hogan gets back to the I don't think they ever to sort of a SeaWorld type place, and plays a recording for her. Nothing on it. Its frequency is either too high or too low for them to catch. Well, looks like they'll have to talk to Peter, who is a expert electrical engineer. So Stella gets on her little mini bike motorcycle thingy and goes to see him.
It's a list of the equipment that Bob and I'll need.
You gotta be kidding. I'm going away. This stuff's all gotta be built to specs.
Please. It's very important. Who else can I turn to?
Uh-huh. Just flashes her baby blues and puts on a little voice and wraps them around her finger. Oh, the other woman? That's Peter's assistant, Sandra, and she is a bit jealous of this, as she's interested in Peter herself. Well, he grudgingly decides he can make it and then go on his trip tomorrow and still make whatever flight he's going to. Let's see. Next, we meet Dr. Davis at the WOY Institute and the head guy's wife, Mrs. West.
Oh, Doc.
Yeah. Seems they little hanky-panky going over there at that institute, and they might have just been caught. Anyway, well, that's been going on. The coroner, who's looked over the retrieved body from earlier, says the bites look like a shark, but not like a shark. So the sheriff takes photos of the bites over to the SeaWorld area and shows them to Dr. Hogan, who never seen anything like it, but he'll study it and get back to the sheriff. Meanwhile, that person who saw the smoochy, I couldn't think of a better word, gets on the phone with someone saying she's done. She's not doing anything else this guy wants her to do. And she doesn't care about the money anymore. She's getting out of town. And then we get our clue as to who this mysterious man is.
I have an appointment with a reporter from the Washington Post. You.
Why'd you have to go and say that? You know what the next scene's going to be. Oh, but keep your eye out for someone wearing that watch. They could be the big baddie of this whole thing. Whatever this whole thing is. Anyway, let's get back to the woman named Florinda. Somebody comes knocking at her door.
What are you up to, Miller? What are you doing here?
Surprised, huh?
Tell your boss that he can't afford to fool around like this. His time is up.
He don't feel that way. Come here.
I have to cut it there because Um, at this point, she kicks him, tries to run away. He rips off her robe, so she's pretty much topless for the rest of the scene where he takes her out. But it's got to look like an accident, so he takes her into the bathroom. He's on the ball there, that Miller. Anyways, while that's been happening, Peter and Sandra have been getting some me time after finishing the converter he was asked to build.
Sex.
Yeah. Don't know why I bother coming up with euphemisms. Anyways, he hears something downstairs in his shop and goes to investigate.
Hey! What the hell are you doing?
Hi, keeper.
Let's go.
That guy's everywhere. Anyway. Next day, we get a couple guys going out. One's going to dive down and do some spear fishing when a shark comes by.
Give me a hand! It's going away! It's going away, Hal. It's going away.
Now, what could scare off a shark?
Let's get out of here! Yeah! No!
Holy sardine!
Wow, there's some nastiness there. Well, one of the survivors washes up on shore where he's found by a little kid. Nice little traumatizing scene there. Gets taken to the hospital where he's in a state of shock. And then we get a look at the plaster cast they've made of the first victim's bite marks.
I'm not an expert, but these don't look like the teeth marks of a shark to me.
You don't say. No, I'm not going to do the whole he didn't say joke. Well, now we got a bunch of miscellaneous stuff that happens, discovery of the body, talking to the people at the Institute, some investigationing stuff, and Peter, Bob, and Stella. They head out with Peter remade all the equipment that was smashed. They head back out and they pick up some recordings. Peter's converter did some good job there. So they're not able to identify it. They may need some enhancements. So they take it to the Institute and play it for Dr. Davis and Dr. West.
We could feed the data to our computers and see what they come up with. Of course, Dr. West would have to agree to that, but...
There shouldn't be any problem.
Turns out, there is no problem.
The possible discovery of a hitherto unknown marine species would be of historical importance to all of us. You'll have to leave us the recorded sounds, I'm afraid.
How convenient. They have to leave the recordings there. Hey, did you notice he had a dark watch band and a dark watch face? Well, this has been going on. The survivor took a turn for the worse.
His heart just gave out.
Yeah, and it was fear. Fear stopped his heart.
Oh, that doesn't sound ominous at all, does it? Meanwhile, Bob, having seen the plaster cast, calls in Dr. Jane Bates, a paleontologist, to look it over. And when she does, she comes up with some conclusions.
The true ancestor of the shark as we know it today was the Pseudogaleus volta, and it appeared at the end of the Cetaceous era 60 million years ago.
Well, the teeth seem to match, so sure, let's go with that.
The only possible meaning.
Anyway, after that, Sandra gets a visit from someone, and we learn some very distressing news as an audience member.
Made a deal. I gave you the key to the shop only so you could take the converter, and that's all.
What, are you mad because we roughed up your boyfriend?
Idiot.
There was a time when you were a lot sweeter.
Yeah, I prefer not to think about it. It's over. You got it? All over.
You're gonna do exactly what I tell you to do. Understand?
Considering what happened to Florinda, I don't have much hope for Sandra making it to the end of the film. Well, Peter, Bob, Stella, and Jane all head out, and they throw out some bullies to get a triangulation of things, and when they're testing everything, one of the buoys, the farthest one out, doesn't seem to be working. So Peter and Stella hop into a little motorboat and zip through the Everglades to check it out.
Looks like it's been sabotaged.
But we haven't seen any boats for the past hour.
Yeah, except the Challenger.
We still have 4 at least.
Now, it doesn't work that way. In order to cover the field, we gotta have all 5 functioning.
Oh, the Challenger, that's West's research vessel. Wow. They decide to head back, because it can't be fixed, when their prop gets fouled by the rope around the buoy. And then after Peter gets it cleared and Stella is off swimming over to the shore, Peter joins her. Why does it look like twilight when the sun's right behind them there? And is this really the best time to be
Sex.
Anyways, it's funny. When Peter was in bed with Sandra, he said he had no interest in Stella.
Holy heartbreak.
Not quite the stalwart hero I was hoping for. Well, while they've been frolicking, Bob and Jane make some scientific discoveries.
See it? Yes. It might be him, but the picture isn't very clear.
Look! Look! Oh my God. Bob, it's coming right at us.
Well, looks like they've made the discovery the other two aren't going to be a part of now. So Bob gets a gun to see if he can tranquilize this thing.
Behind you, look out!
No. Although I think she was a little late on that. Bob is behind you. Where did this thing get into? It's a pugilistic fighting ability there. My God, it's smacking him around like crazy. Well, Jane gets grabbed next, but she has a bit of better luck than poor Bob did.
Jim Carter!
You don't mess with a paleontologist when she's got an axe in her hand. Well, when our lovebirds finally finish and get back aboard, they find a severed tentacle and a hysterical Dr. Bates. Taking all this to the WOY labs, they try to figure out a way to catch this thing. And Peter, being an electrical engineer, has an idea.
I've recorded its voice and can reproduce it with only slight modulations. Close enough to make it think that the sounds are one of its own species.
Nah, I don't think it'll work.
I'd like to try it.
Okay. Since when is a scientist going to downplay an idea like that, but the cop is the one who thinks it's good? Dr. West is looking mighty suspicious.
This just about solves the mystery.
Or maybe he's familiar with the film beginning at the end. You know, the one where the giant locusts were attacking Chicago and Peter Graves cobbled up a mating call and lured them all out into the ocean to drown? Yeah, that movie. Well, wait for the shock of shocks when the analysis of the severed tentacle comes in.
The cells of this creature have a life of only 8 months?
I don't believe it.
You mean that monster is nothing but a pup?
What?
Oh, geez. How big's this thing going to get? Well, the sheriff comes up with an idea. Peter will lure it in to an area of their choosing. And then, using buoys loaded with bait and dynamite, problem solved. Of course, Miller is ordered to see that that doesn't happen. And then we get some really distressing news.
Sheriff, they killed that girl, Sandra Hayes. She worked for Peter.
You know where they murdered her?
Harrison Bay.
I should have known. I told you she wasn't going to make it to the end of the picture. I'm kind of glad they did it off screen. I didn't really want to see her get hurt. But Deputy Fernando Gonzalez, Florida, remember, shows he's not slow on the uptick.
Sheriff, I think there's a connection between these deaths and the monster's appearance.
You got a good future, Fernando. Don't foul it up.
That guy is going to make sheriff someday. Well, while the Coast Guard is out dropping the buoys with the explosive and the bait, Peter, Stella, and Jane are out setting up their broadcast system to lure the fish in. Now, while Stella and Peter are down on the bottom of the water, setting things up, Jane gets an unexpected and unwanted visitor. She survived an encounter with the devilfish, only to be done in later on by a man. Let's skip over the scene where she basically gets slapped to death. I don't think any of us need to see that bit of violence. Now, while in the water, Peter and Stella are attacked by a couple of divers. he manages to fend them off till Stella can get up to the surface, where she unfortunately is captured by Miller. Peter might have been done in too, but in a Dos Ex Machina moment, the devilfish comes up and chomps on the other two divers, which allows Peter to get to the surface and take on Miller.
Hi, keeper.
I think we need another Dos Ex Machina moment.
Jim Carter.
That is a very helpful creature. Well, Stella and Peter get back aboard. Sadly, they find what happened to Jane. And then they start heading back. Now, Doctor, who's been doing more research, Dr. West, contacts the sheriff about some new information he's discovered.
I have here before me cells we've taken from the tentacle. They're reproducing at an incredible rate. It's a fantastic spectacle.
Doctor, are you telling me if the monster's wounded, the shreds of flesh can reproduce?
Exactly.
Zoinks!
Oh, that's not good. Well, the sheriff gets the Coast Guard helicopter to take him out, and he shoots all the buoys, blowing up the dynamite before it can do any real harm. Such as blowing the creature up, and then they have a gazillion of these things swimming around. Meanwhile, Dr. West, doing some more research at his computer, finds out his lab is responsible for that creation. Want to guess who created it?
But why create such a monster?
What better way to protect an exploitable area than a marine monster, almost indestructible, and whose genetic characteristics are as fearsome as the white sharks? A gigantic octopus with the intelligence of a dolphin, and as monstrous as a prehistoric creature.
Holy sardine!
Yeah. Dr. Davis. And guess who was in on it with him?
What it will mean to the company. The WOI has only one objective: profits. Don't forget that.
Look, from a woman who has the sensitivity of a slut to the point of giving her lover the identical watch she gave her husband for an anniversary present, I will not accept lessons.
This just about solves the mystery.
Guess they weren't as discreet in their affair as they thought. And it explains the watch clue perfectly. But old Doc West, he did some calculations with the research, and he's got some bad news for him.
Within 12 hours, that creature's cellular structure will begin to disintegrate. And the seas will be populated by identical creatures that will continue to reproduce themselves indefinitely until the oceans, the world over, will be totally dominated by them.
What?
Well, that was an unforeseen happenstance from gene splicing, you say? We need another Dos Machina moment.
Don't move, Davis.
Oh, Davis!
Stand back.
I've had worse.
Good shot. Of course, he's been having a lot of practice shooting all those buoys. Now they just have to figure out how you kill an indestructible beast that can replicate itself.
We have one possibility, Sheriff.
Oh, really? What's that?
Fire. Those cells can be destroyed by fire.
How precisely, Robin?
Fire, huh? Well, yeah. That's, plausible, but it's an underwater creature. How are you going to get it set on fire? Peter's device. They come up with a plan. They will lure it into a canal, block it off by pouring gas across the opening and setting that on fire, trapping it in there. It works, but it goes down. So now they got to hunt for it. And it got dark, and it's attacking the searchers. But finally, they locate it.
Flamethrowers, ignite!
And there was much rejoicing.
Yay! They killed the monster. Oh, thank goodness. Now we just have to have the obligatory romantic ending.
I'm finally getting my vacation.
Where are we going?
To the mountains.
Oh, what fun. Yeah, it's not one of Bava's best, I gotta admit. I mean, it's no A Blade in the Dark or Demons. Demons. Now that's a horror film. Part of the problem is the budget. It is real low budget. And script's overly complicated, I think, with the whole Giallo-esque mystery of a mastermind behind everything, and your henchmen knocking people off left and right when they get in the way, and it's a bit of an old hat kind of story, one that's been done quite a bit, and Bava doesn't really have much to add to it, and it doesn't seem to be any of that great visual aspect he usually brings to his films, like he did in A Blade in the Dark, which is really stylistic and interesting, or Demons, which just is out and out mayhem. Yeah. But on the other hand, it's a fun little flick. Creature's kind of interesting. You don't really get a good look at it for the most part. But like that gaping tooth jaws he's got. And at least he's trying to do something different with a shark plot. Rather than like last week's where they're just copying Jaws. Plot point for plot point. But I don't know. It's just kind of dull, which is saying something for a film about a killer prehistoric Sharktopus with the intelligence of a dolphin. Although, in looking at it, the dolphin must have been a pretty dumb dolphin. I'd think they'd be smarter than this thing to let itself get trapped the way it did towards the end. But that's neither here nor there. It's not one I can highly recommend, but if you are interested, but you don't think you could sit through this on its own, no problem. Just watch the Mystery Science Theater version, although it does take out a lot of the blood and all the nudity. But since most of that's during an attack on someone, that's just as well, I think. Well, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And as always, stay after the credits for my favorite scene.
Bob.